I like Taco magazine pouches. They're very versatile. They can take a wide variety of magazines. However, the thing I don't like about Taco magazine pouches is that sometimes, because of their design, magazines have a problem reindexing, which a lot of Taco magazine owners know about. The magazine pouches themselves have two flared lips, but they don't have flared lips on all these sides, which means that sometimes when you're trying to reinsert a magazine, the magazine tends to bind up. Consequently, I think a lot of people have maybe switched away from Taco magazines to go to something magazine pouches to go to like S-Tech Kaiwis or G-Code Scorpions, and I myself have largely gone to a G-Code Scorpion. However, you can fix this problem, and it's not too hard to do, but it takes some time to do it, but you can do it, and I've tried to mess around with this myself. I have a long history of working with various kinds of plastics. It's been a hobby of mine for many years. So I tried coming up with various ways using cheaper plastic to create feed lips that would work around the Taco magazine pouch. Finally, I did end up getting some Kydex, a Kydex sheet. This is a 0.060 inch, works out to roughly about 1.7 millimeter sheet. And I found, after much trial and error, roughly these are the shapes that seem to work best for creating these kinds of Taco magazine pouch feed lips. So Taco magazine pouches also are they're not perfectly squared off, so if this appears to be crooked or something, it's again the general design of the magazine pouch is a little bit awkward. Not awkward, it's just not perfectly symmetrical. But you can see these things slide in relatively easily. Not on command, but relatively easily. And then these lips, which are bent into S shapes, took a little bit of fiddling around to figure out sizes that would work. I created them with these little hooks so that they would latch onto the bands, like so. And like so. So now, once you've done that, you've basically created feed ramps, added two feed ramps, and basically have feed ramps on all sides. So now insertion of magazines on cue, not. Insertion of magazines is now a lot simpler and easier. Here's a double stack 45 mag, single stack 45. You can see the indexing is now much simpler, even with empty magazines that tend to have more problems. M&P, 92FS, 4566 Smith & Wesson, and an old Kimber 10 45 double stack. No, I don't own one. Yes, I do have a mag. If for whatever reason you said you wanted to remove these, it's speaking of removal. So these on the back aren't held down with anything, but they tend to stay really well. I think it's just there's so much material that's inside that it's just held on really well by pressure. Although I found that you could theoretically, if you wanted them to stay better, you could score it lightly with a razor on either side, and it would stay rather well. But I have not found any problems with these staying in place. These things, however, do tend to kind of flip out, which is why I decided to create these little hooks, which are not terribly difficult to remove. You can just use a little screwdriver or any tool, really, pry tool, and just kind of get underneath them, and you can get it out. But if you do that, of course, the magazine pouches tend to catch things a little bit as opposed to having the lips in place. So added thickness. Let's two identical mags. You can see it does add a little bit of thickness to the magazine overall, but not that much. I've measured it. It's maybe somewhere between about 1/8 of an inch. So really not much of a difference. But the difference is, as far as retention and friction, to me they feel virtually identical. But again, the difference is that I can re-index magazines much quicker with the feed lips in place. So that's about it. Again, there's not really any instructions or plans for how to make these yourself, other than it's a 0.0606 inch Kydex sheet. Do I plan on posting instructions? Maybe sometime in the future. Again, I could show you what contraption I use, but basically it's just using a lighter and forms to shape these things into shape, and then just trimming them down with a razor blade. Anyway, that's it. Give it a shot. Enjoy.